Hello, you guys. Welcome, and if you are new here, and welcome back to my channel if you are not new. First of all, I want to thank everyone who watched my last video. That video is still going up in views, and I'm so thankful. I did not think that video was going to do well, only because I was just telling a testimony, and I just, it's just those videos that you post, and you're just like, you don't think that it's going to do well, but it does well. Now, I'm so blown away, and I can't believe that I thought that video wasn't going to do well, and I'm talking about God. Come on now. We all know that God is everything. But I am doing this voiceover because I do have another testimony. Now, as I said in my other video, and if you guys have not watched that, I said that I will be implementing on my channel Testimony Tuesdays. I know that it's not Tuesday, but I feel like God is going to use this message for someone. So I really want to just tell this testimony, and I think this is one of my favorites, you guys. But yeah, so let me go ahead and get into this testimony. So when my son was about 5 weeks old, I believe it was like 5 weeks old. He was definitely still a newborn, in the newborn stage at this time. I drove my husband to work that morning, and we get home, we're chilling, just straightening up, and y'all gonna see how everything just ties together, okay? But anyways, I get a call from my niece and nephew. They wanted to come over. Now, usually it just was always the wrong timing for them to come over, because I was always busy. I was trying to be a first time mom and keep up with my house. So it's just like, it was never a good time. But this day I said, you know what? Yes, because I want them to know that I love them. And I'm like, come on, come over here, so it don't look like I'm just always making excuses, So I go and I get them. And around this time, once I get them, it's time to go and pick up my husband from work. And so I was getting myself together. I'm getting my son together. And as I'm getting them together, I feel God telling me, leave him here. And so I was like, nah, I'm just tripping. Like this I'm just tripping or whatever. But when I first heard like leave him here, also what came to mind was like, man, I don't want to leave my niece and my nephew here with a newborn. Like, they're here to chill. I'm cool auntie. Like, they're not here to have to watch my child. They're here to have fun. But so I continue just still getting him together, and I feel God saying it again. And this time it's on my heart. He's like, leave him here. But then I'm still like, no, I'm tripping. This is all in my head. And as Christians, those of you that are subscribed, if you are Christians, we tend to question God when he tells us stuff, and we think we are tripping. But then, have you noticed, but when the enemy tries to plant a thought in our head, we don't give much thought into it. We don't question it or anything. A lot of times we feed into some of the stuff that the enemy wants us to fall into. But when it's of God and he's telling us, we question it. We need signs. We need all this. And we know in our hearts that it's coming from God. So I just find that so crazy. But anyways, so I'm thinking that I'm tripping, so I just keep on out the door, lock the door, on the way to the car. And while I'm on the way to the car, God puts it heavy on my heart. Leave him here. And I was just not going to get no peace. Like, it was on my heart. So I said, you know what? All right, God, I'll leave him here. I don't know what for. All right. So I go back in the house. I tell my niece and my nephew, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go pick up Mark. And I'll be back in 30 minutes. Milk is in the fridge. So then I pull up at my husband's job, and I'm just thinking that I'm just going to get him, and then we're going to go home together, and that's it. But then he tells me, telling me that his childhood friend had hit him up and wanted to hang out. So I was like, okay. So we pull up at his house, and my husband, he was like, oh, I'm gonna go upstairs and let him know so we can come down. But I believe they were playing the game or something, because they were upstairs for like 10 minutes. And by that time I was pissed off because I was ready to go. So they ended up coming downstairs, and because I was mad, I was like, okay, you drive. Like, and then on top of driving, stopped me at Starbucks, because it was a Starbucks like right up the street where he lived at. So he ended up taking me to Starbucks, and then we get on the road, y'all. And my husband, he's at a blinking light, and a yellow blinking light, and we're waiting for the other traffic to go ahead so then we can have our right of way to turn. And as we are waiting, y'all, a car comes out of nowhere. Like, this girl comes out of nowhere. She's driving like she's on the freaking highway. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, how fast she was going. Like, it's no, I have no recollection. I don't know why she was driving that fast, but she ends up hitting us. Y'all, she ends up hitting the side that my son would have been on. She ended up hitting his side, and also on my side, on the passenger side. And then I think she was trying to do a hit and run, because she kept going, but then she ended up spinning around and hitting traffic on the opposite side. She hit 4 other cars. And I am so blessed that God weighed it on my heart. Like, he put it so heavy on my heart after the 2 times that he put it on my heart to leave him home. But the 3rd time, he weighed it so heavy that I was not going to let up. Like, he was not letting up. He was like, you're leaving your son home. If I had not been obedient, my son would not have been here today, because of how that car, like, his side looked. It was caved in. And I wish I had the pictures so I can insert it on the screen, but I no longer have that. But it was just crazy, like, how God works. Because like I said in the beginning, my niece and my nephew will always like hit me up, but it was never like the right time. I was always busy doing something for them to come over. But God aligned it up that I said yes. And then he waited on my heart 3 times to leave my son home. And I had no idea that I was going to get in a car accident. Like I said, I thought I was going to pull up at my husband's job and we was going to go straight home. But God already knew what was going to happen. And he saved my son. And so I felt like I should post this before Testimony Tuesday, because I don't know, I feel like God is going to use it for someone. Maybe God has told you not to go somewhere, or to do something, or not to do something, and it's weighing heavy on your heart, and you're questioning if it's God and if you should do it. If he's weighing it on your heart where you're not getting a moment's peace, you need to just obey. That is just the whole, I feel like the whole message of this testimony is to be obedient. We don't have to know why. Like I said, I didn't know why, and I was questioning. I was like, okay, God, like, I'll leave him here, because I didn't know why. I didn't expect to get in a car accident that day. But we don't need to know why God does things, and a lot of times we're not going to know why God tells us to do things, but we need to be obedient. But that is a testimony that I wanted to share with you guys. I thank you so much for listening. I'm going to go ahead and play some music, and I just hope that you enjoy this video and it gives you some motivation to get up, clean something. Even if you don't clean your whole house, just clean one room or clean your bathroom, something. But yes, let me go ahead and play this music for you guys.